While looking at her smartphone, Luna casually asked, "How much is the inheritance?" Despite the fact that Henry had just passed away, I couldn't understand why she would ask such a thing. "Your dad worked at a pretty good company, right? I think he must have saved up a decent amount," Luna said with a nonchalant tone. Exhausted and stressed, with hardly any sleep, I sighed and replied, "Henry's parents are inheriting everything. It's $0 for us." Then Luna, with her carefree attitude, said, "What? That's such a waste. I wanted to use the inheritance to go to Mateo's concert." "What are you saying? Henry, your father, just passed away. And you say something so terrible. I can't believe I have a daughter like you," I shouted, overwhelmed with anger. But Luna seemed unfazed. "Fine, I'll stop being your daughter. Bye, fake mom," she said, and left briskly. I never thought she could be so utterly devoid of empathy. All I could do was stand there, stunned. Then, one day, some time later, my smartphone vibrated. It was a call from Luna. That's right, today was the day of the broadcast. She probably saw it on TV. And that's why she panicked and called. I understood, but I chose to ignore the call. However, the ringing didn't stop. After a while, the light on my smartphone blinked. It seemed she had left a voicemail. After some time, I played voicemail. Right from the start, Luna's yelling blasted through the speaker, making me instinctively pull the phone away from my ear. "Hey, what's going on? Why are you on TV with Mateo? Answer me." I sighed and deleted the voicemail message. Despite having explained my job beforehand. Of course, it seemed Luna hadn't been listening. But I felt no obligation to explain myself to her. I didn't want anything to do with someone as terrible as Luna anymore. My name is Sophia Davis, 43 years old. I live with my husband Henry and my daughter Luna. Though, Luna isn't my biological daughter. She's Henry's daughter from his previous marriage, whom I married 3 years ago. At that time, my career was taking off, and I was incredibly busy. Surviving on energy drinks was a daily routine. I hadn't had a significant other in years. That's when I was introduced to Henry by an acquaintance. Henry was kind and sincere. We hit it off and naturally decided to start dating with marriage in mind. However, there was one issue. Henry was widowed, with one daughter. Her name is Luna. A 17-year-old high school student. I knew Luna was dearly loved by Henry because he often talked about her. But this was my first marriage. I was a bit worried about how to interact with a teenage girl. Sensing my concern, Henry assured me, "She's a good kid. Don't worry." But I was worried whether Luna might not like me. Concerned, I decided we should all have dinner together a few times. Luna was quiet and spoke little. Losing her mother at a sensitive age must have cast a shadow over her. Because of this, Henry repeatedly asked Luna if she was okay with him remarrying. Luna said she was fine. Relieved, I continued our relationship and later, we got married. But things didn't go as smoothly as I had hoped. Apparently, I had been too optimistic. Once we started living together, Luna gradually showed her true nature. After getting married, the three of us decided to live in a condo. It wasn't a rental, we bought it as a celebration of our marriage. Henry's parents were happy about the remarriage and offered to cover the cost of the condo. At first, we refused because we felt guilty, but they insisted on it. Henry's parents were really worried about him and Luna, and they were so grateful to have me as a stepmother. They kept saying they wanted me to accept their gratitude, so eventually, I couldn't find a reason to refuse. And that's how we ended up moving into this new condo. Luna was still not very talkative, but I thought that over time, we could gradually become closer. Luckily, I work from home. So, I should have plenty of time to spend with Luna. I understand that losing a mother isn't something one can easily get over. However, I thought if I could be there for her as much as possible, that's what I hoped to do. But Luna's attitude started to change for the worse, little by little. Whenever I tried to talk to her, all I got were yeah and aha responses. She was always looking at her smartphone, never making eye contact with me. Once, I asked her, "What are you watching?" but all she said was, "A live performance by ATB." It seems that ATB is a popular boy band among the youth. Luna was particularly obsessed with a member named Mateo Smith, owning a huge collection of his merchandise. Luna's room was filled with Mateo's stuff, to the point where there was hardly any space to walk. I tried to clean up a few times, but whenever Luna caught me, she'd angrily tell me not to enter her room. Concerned, I talked to Henry about it. Then, Henry answered sadly, "Luna has always been like that. She might seem distant, but she doesn't mean any harm. Her biological mother passed away from an illness when Luna was in elementary school. She took it pretty hard. Around that time, she found solace in that male idol. Even now, it seems. So, I want to support her in whatever she wants." I see. I thought, feeling sorry for the situation. Luna never let go of her smartphone, always looking at Mateo's pictures or videos. It must be her way of healing herself, I concluded. Yet, I couldn't help but feel that it was a bit too much. Her studies were neglected, and her grades were terrible. Despite this, Henry wouldn't say anything, justifying it by saying, "She's been hurt by losing her mother." I understand Luna's feelings, but I also believe it's important to live a proper life. I wonder if Luna's real mother would rest in peace knowing this. One night, as I was pondering these thoughts, Henry had to go on a business trip, leaving Luna and me to have dinner together for the first time. Today, I'll try to talk with Luna. I want to have a conversation and hopefully get her to open up a bit. It would be nice if, gradually, we could talk more with each other as real people, not just through videos, I thought. I went all out cooking dinner. However, Luna was on her phone watching Mateo's videos while eating. She completely ignored anything I said. Maybe she was feeling too relaxed without Henry around. But honestly, it's a bit rude not to engage at all. If she keeps this up, it might cause her trouble when she grows up. I steeled my heart and admonished her. "Hey Luna, let's put the phone down during dinner and have a chat." But when Luna looked up, she was furious. "What? I'm at a good part. Mateo is talking. You get that? Don't bother me." I was stunned by her fierceness and froze. It seemed she was watching ATB's live performance, and Mateo was in the middle of his MC segment. After her outburst, Luna glared at me fiercely and ate her food with incredible speed. Then, she locked herself in her room with her phone. I was dumbfounded. Was it really worth getting this angry over? For the first time, I felt truly scared of Luna. But this was just the beginning. I had no idea that more shocking events were waiting for me. One weekday afternoon, my phone rang. It was a call from Luna's high school teacher, Mr. Davis. I paused my work to answer the phone. "Hello. What did Luna do?" It was a call asking me to talk to Luna about her behavior. Apparently, she had been skipping classes on weekdays to go to Mateo's concerts. Luna had been missing school for a while, and her teacher was getting suspicious. Just as they were about to ask me about it, another teacher spotted Luna coming back from a concert at the train station. When confronted, she easily admitted to having gone to the concert. I felt dizzy with shock. Indeed, Luna had gone to see Mateo's concert. But I had only given her permission for the weekends at the end of the month. Skipping school on a weekday was definitely out of the question. Yet, to think she lied and skipped school. I apologized profusely to the teacher. This behavior was inexcusable. I had to make it clear. In the evening, when Luna finally came home. "Luna, can we talk for a sec?" She looked annoyed and tried to ignore me. But I quickly grabbed her arm. "Please listen, this is important." "What?" "Make it quick. I got a call from your teacher today. They told me you've been skipping weekday classes to go to concerts. We agreed concerts were only for the end of the month weekends, right? You have to keep your promises. And you need to attend your classes." Luna made a clearly displeased face. But this conversation was far from over. "And where did you get the money for these concerts?" I had assumed she was enjoying Mateo within her allowance limits. According to the teacher, she had been missing a lot of days. How was she financing this? Luna fell silent with a sullen face. She seemed reluctant but eventually spoke. "I took a little from Dad's wallet." "What? How could you do that? That's stealing." Contrary to my panic, Luna spoke boldly. "Stealing is an exaggeration. It's family money, isn't it?" "But that doesn't make it okay. There are right and wrong things to do. I have to tell Henry about this." "Do whatever you want. Dad's soft on me. He'll forgive me. He still sees me as the poor girl who lost her mom." She laughed it off. What a child. This behavior couldn't be excused by the grief of losing a mother anymore. Before Luna's defiance got worse, I knew I had to get Henry to talk to her too. Just as I was thinking this, an even more shocking event was waiting for me. It happened all of a sudden. Shockingly, Henry had passed away. I couldn't believe it at first. While I was preparing dinner, I got a call from Henry's boss at work. It seemed he had suffered a heart attack. He collapsed while out and never woke up. I was too shocked to react. I rushed to the hospital and talked to Henry's boss, who was waiting there. Then, I contacted Henry's relatives and had several exchanges. After arranging things with the funeral home, by the time we finished the wake in a few days, I was completely exhausted. I had been frantic with all the arrangements, but once everything was over, I felt a profound tiredness hit me as if my soul had left my body. Our marriage had lasted only a few years. My memories with Henry were far too few. Staring at his portrait, I remembered the times when we met and quietly cried, while Luna came in nonchalantly, showing no signs of sadness. Luna showed no signs of sadness at all. Even during the funeral, she was engrossed in Mateo on her smartphone. I was too worn out to scold her. Thankfully, the relatives made convenient interpretations, saying, "Poor thing, losing her mother and now her father. She must be escaping into her phone to avoid the sadness," so I avoided direct criticism. Luna sat down and started fiddling with her smartphone. Then, as if remembering something, she said, "Oh, by the way, how much did we inherit? Is this really the time to ask? Dad worked at a pretty good company, right? I guess he saved up quite a bit." Luna spoke flippantly. Exhausted and sleep-deprived, I sighed and said, "Henry's parents will inherit everything, leaving us with nothing." We had already discussed the inheritance with my in-laws after Henry passed away. Henry's company was publicly traded, but he wasn't a high earner. There wasn't much in terms of savings. Henry's wife and daughter, Luna and I, had the right to inherit it. Henry's parents had been unwell lately and anxious about the future. After discussing, since they helped us with this apartment's purchase, Luna and I decided to transfer the property to them, and the money would go to my in-laws. Hearing this, Luna pouted in disappointment. "What? All the inheritance went to Grandma and Grandpa? What a waste! They won't be around much longer anyway. Wouldn't it have been better if Luna inherited everything?" "What?" I couldn't believe my ears. I wished I could have used the inheritance for more of Mateo's concerts. "What are you saying? Henry, your father, just passed away. And all you can think about is Mateo. Don't you have any respect for the deceased?" I couldn't take it anymore. Does this child have no compassion at all? Then, Luna said dismissively with a disdainful look on her face. "What a hassle," Luna said, making my eyes widen in disbelief. "I liked Dad, you know? He always listened to me and gave me money. But he's gone now, so what can you do? His leftover money is more important. And you're just the same, aren't you? Couldn't get married at your age, so you settled for a dad with some money, even though he came with a kid. And it was only a few years of marriage. I don't want to be lectured by someone like you pretending to be a mom." I was stunned by the harsh words thrown at me. Unbelievable. What is this child saying? Slowly, anger started to build up, and my body began to shake.
How could you say such a thing? Do you have any idea how much Henry did for you? I can't believe I have a daughter like you.
Barely squeezing out those words, Luna just muttered, "So annoying." Then, she delivered her parting shot. "Well, I quit being your daughter. Bye, fake mom." With those words, Luna briskly walked away. This was the real Luna. She didn't have a shred of compassion in her. Obsessed with her idol even just after her father had died. It was terrifying to think she might not truly be related by blood. Luna's actions afterward were even worse. She went around telling Henry's relatives how terrible of a stepmom I was. The relatives unanimously took Luna's side. Such a terrible stepwife. Poor Luna, they said. Despite my desperate attempts to clear up the misunderstanding, Henry's relatives had been close to Luna since she was born, and I was seen as the new stepmother who just showed up. As a result, most of the relatives sided with Luna. Luna became the pitiful girl who lost her mother and then her father, and on top of that, was mistreated by her stepmother. Consequently, Luna ended up living with Henry's sister and her husband. Just like that, Henry and Luna were gone from my life. I was left alone in a large apartment, completely isolated. Days of turmoil passed, and I was completely exhausted, both physically and mentally. I was completely worn out, both physically and mentally. Yet, I had to keep working. In fact, working was somewhat a relief, as it kept me from dwelling on unnecessary thoughts. I had been working from home, but thankfully, there had been an increase in meetings outside recently. I took this opportunity to actively take on more work. I had been holding back a bit since getting married, but now I was single again. I decided to take on more work. With that resolution, I returned to being the workaholic I used to be. Then, one day, my smartphone vibrates intensely. Glancing at the screen, it was a call from Luna. That's right, today was the air date. She probably saw it on TV. That must be why she called in a panic. I understood but chose to ignore the call. However, the ringing didn't stop. After a while, the phone lit up again. She had left a voicemail. Time passed before I played the voice message. Right from the start, Luna's yelling was so loud that I instinctively pulled the phone away from my ear.
What's going on? Why are you on TV with Mateo? Answer me.
I sighed and deleted the voicemail message. I am a screenwriter. I work from home, and my original screenplay was recently adapted into a TV drama. I was on a TV information show for promotion. The person I was talking to was Luna's idol, Mateo. It was Mateo's first time acting in a drama. And as the lead, there was a lot of attention on him. A special feature on Mateo was arranged, and as part of the drama staff, I was invited to the program. Most of the conversation revolved around behind-the-scenes production stories. Mateo came across as a very polite young man, greeting everyone properly and leaving a very good impression. To think there are fans like Luna among his followers, how unfortunate. After seeing the broadcast, Luna bombarded me with calls. She must have been wanting to ask what was going on. I had told Luna about my job, but she always seemed too caught up in videos to listen properly. She probably thought of me as just a housewife who was always at home. But at this point, that didn't matter anymore. I knew it would cause a commotion if she found out I was working with Mateo. After all the insults and neglect from Luna, I didn't feel obliged to explain anything to her. Ignoring her resulted in a flood of messages, which, of course, I didn't bother looking at it before trashing it. It's ironic how she never tried to communicate before, but now she was desperately reaching out. Knowing Luna's true colors, I had already decided to cut ties with her. A few days passed, and the relentless calls from Luna stopped. She must have realized I wasn't going to respond. I felt a sense of relief and my tension drained away. With work winding down, I thought it'd be nice to relax and enjoy my favorite tea. While preparing a mug in the kitchen, the doorbell rang alarmingly. I had a bad feeling. Peeking through the door's peephole, I saw Luna standing there, her eyes burning with anger.
I know you're there. Come out. why are you talking to Mateo behind my back?
Of course, there was no way I was going to face her. But her tirade continued for a while.
Hey, answer me.
Luna hurled insults and banged on the door. Eventually, she even started making personal attacks. It was unbearable to listen to, and it would cause a disturbance to the neighbors if it went on any longer. I clutched my smartphone and dialed 911. Soon after, the sound of a police siren echoed nearby. Hearing this, Luna clicked her tongue and quickly left. Truly, her ability to flee was unmatched. Afterward, I briefly explained the situation to the police officers who arrived. They said they would patrol around my home for a while. This should keep things safe for a bit. But if I continue to be harassed near my home, I'll have to consider moving or temporarily living in a monthly rental apartment. However, my primary focus right now is on the drama script. I want to concentrate on this work until it's finished. That's right. I finally figured out the last twist I had been pondering. I suddenly had a breakthrough. I fired up my computer and started typing rapidly. Time passed. And fortunately, Luna hasn't come to my house since. She must have given up. Thanks to that, I was able to focus on my work, and the script was successfully completed. Today, I was going to observe the filming of the drama. The climax scene was set in a suburban park. After briefly greeting the production staff, I decided to watch the shooting from the back. Everything seemed to be going smoothly, with the actors chatting happily as they came off the location bus. Wait a minute. But Mateo, the lead actor, seemed down. He appeared somewhat subdued. Was something wrong? Despite my concerns, the shooting went on smoothly. This scene required extras, so there was a crowd waiting at the edge of the park. Suddenly, the area became noisy.
Someone stop this woman!
A shout rang out, and a woman burst through the crowd, gasping for breath as she approached where Mateo and the others were gathered.
Mateo, I finally found you!
It was Luna, wearing flashy makeup and a smile, leaving Mateo visibly confused.
Hey, why did you talk to that lady but not to Luna? I attend every concert, you know? I buy so much of your merchandise. After spending so much money, why won't you say anything to me?
Luna was ranting incoherently. The next moment, 2 security guards restrained her. The drama production staff quickly moved Mateo away.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Mateo, looking pale, moved to the back with the other actors. I could overhear the staff gossiping.
Mateo has been dealing with a stalker lately. Seems like a female fan has been following him around a lot. I heard about that too. She's been lurking around his home and even followed him on his days off. Really? Is that her? Devoted fans can be really scary. That's why Mateo hasn't been himself lately.
Hearing this, I got goosebumps. Considering Luna's recent behavior, I had a feeling she might do something drastic. The relentless calls to me, showing up at my house to spew insults. If her obsession had turned towards Mateo, Luna's love had twisted into something ugly, turning her into a stalker. Her excessive following troubled and pressured Mateo. But of course, Mateo could never reciprocate Luna's affection. Luna, driven to the brink, disguised herself as an extra and infiltrated the drama set. To go to such lengths. It's beyond disbelief, almost pitiable. I decided to confront her and approached Luna.
It was you, wasn't it? You! Why are you getting cozy with Mateo? Mateo's side is reserved for Luna. Don't you dare interfere, or you won't be forgiven.
Even while being restrained by security, Luna glared at me with a piercing gaze. I spoke to her calmly.
Hey, how long are you going to keep this up? Being so obsessed with your desires that you don't consider others' feelings, hurting the people around you. Do you even realize the pain you're causing? Huh? For Luna, Mateo is everything. Everything else doesn't matter. I don't care what happens to anyone else. Just don't get in Luna's way, lady. Enough already.
My words brought a sudden silence over the area.
What are you saying? So spoiled. Nobody will love someone who only thinks of themselves. without a shred of compassion. I'm not loved. What are you talking about? That's impossible. Take that back.
Luna then started thrashing violently, looking like she might lash out at any moment. I sighed.
Even after all this, you still don't understand. You're the worst kind of person, unable to grasp how others feel. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Forever.
Upon hearing my words, Luna let out an indescribable scream. People gathered at the park watched Luna, who was screaming in the middle, from a distance. However, not a single person showed her any sympathy. Instead, there were more looks of disdain. Matteo himself, seeing Luna's behavior, had an expression like he was completely taken aback. Being looked at like that by the idol she had so passionately adored would surely leave a lifelong scar on Luna. Shortly after, the police arrived. Likely called by someone. Luna was arrested on the spot for stalking. She was quickly put into a patrol car and taken away. Even after the police vehicle left, the scene remained disturbed for a while. Seeing Matteo, I rushed over to him. I'm sorry.
That girl is actually the stepchild of my late husband. I don't know what to say for causing you trouble.
Matteo looked conflicted. But he met my gaze and spoke clearly.
Please don't apologize. In this line of work, there are occasionally fans who go too far. But they're not all like that. There are many important fans who support me. For them, I refuse to give up. Let's complete this drama no matter what.
That's right, I had forgotten what's important because of Luna. For the fans who love this drama, what we need to do now is to do our job well.
Yes, you're right.
Thank you. Saying that, Matteo and I smiled at each other. The shooting continued. The drama, in fact, was about the main character, played by Matteo, being troubled by a stalker who is his ex-girlfriend. The final showdown with the stalker was inspired by Luna's episode, which I expanded upon. Matteo, playing the lead, lectures the stalker woman in a scene similar to what I had done to Luna earlier. It was the same as what I had done to Luna earlier. If Luna watched the drama, she would feel as if her beloved Matteo was reproaching her actions. I couldn't help but pray that she would genuinely reflect on her actions. I couldn't help but pray. After her arrest, Luna was sent to a juvenile detention center. The relatives who had supported Luna turned their opinions around upon learning the truth. We can't believe Luna was so malicious. We're sorry for misunderstanding you, Sophia, they apologized repeatedly. It was sad when they blamed me, but ultimately, they understood. Feeling as if a weight had been lifted off my chest, my spirit lightened. Then, Henry's sister and her husband kicked Luna out of their house upon her return from detention. Luna has started working at a nightclub with a dormitory. Now, she's infatuated with a nightclub, incurring a level of debt incomparable to when she was chasing after Matteo. I've heard she's borrowing money from dubious lenders. I was disheartened. Luna must have watched that drama. However, Matteo's lecture seemed to have passed her by without making an impact. Luna might be the kind of person who can't live without being dependent on something. Losing her mother at a young age could be a factor, but her behavior only escalated, ignoring any advice from those around her. And in her determination to fulfill her desires at all costs, she eventually resorted to criminal activities. Despite being arrested, her habit of dependency seems unchanged. At this point, there seems to be no hope for her recovery. She seems doomed to end her life unable to escape the quagmire of desire. Recently, while walking through the city, I happened to see Luna looking like she was coming home in the morning. She seemed to be drunk, her makeup smeared, presenting a terrifying appearance. Moreover, she was muttering to herself,
"Why won't you look at me? Even though Luna has done so much for you."
The eeriness of it made people around her instinctively avoid her. At this point, she probably can't stop herself anymore. A monster beyond control. That phrase came to mind. All I can do is to never involve myself with Luna again. That's about all I can do. Meanwhile, I've been busy. The drama was a success, with good ratings, and streaming views are high. It has maintained its popularity even after ending, and there are already talks of a second season and a movie adaptation. As someone involved in the drama's production, I couldn't be happier. Matteo has regained his spirits. It seems that Matteo was once troubled by the presence of a stalker named Luna, but now he has fully recovered. His acting in that drama was praised, and now he appears in various dramas and movies. His career is expanding, and his popularity is rising even more. I, too, am thrilled with the influx of new work coming my way. It's been an incredibly fulfilling time, something I couldn't have imagined a while back. In exchange, my private life has become solitary, but I'm not lonely. No matter what happens, my work supports me. Thinking this way fills me with motivation. Today, I'll write my story again. I open the window and bask in the sunlight. Smiling.